Hello guys, and welcome to 5 more PS4 couch co-op games from Oscar Cooper. I hope you are all well. Yes, it's back to the couch co-op and back to the split screen, and I've found a bunch of 5 other games that I put in ranked order. We're going to have a look at them in detail and we're going to talk a little bit about them. Now, if you're new to me, I just want to go over this. Please subscribe, please click the bell, please like and comment, all that sort of stuff. A lot of my videos aren't getting seen at the moment because of this new algorithm with YouTube and God only knows what. So please just subscribe so you get frequent updates on what I'm doing, and of course all my new lists, which I do on a regular basis, and I concentrate on couch co-op, split screens, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, let's crack on. Now, I don't normally do this, and I don't like doing this, but I'm actually going to slate a game, and the game in question is in the background here, and it's Micromachines. Now, if you're as old as me, you remember Micromachines and how epic it was on the older systems, like ages ago. Don't ask me how long ago, but it was a racing game that essentially evolved around moving on a track and having to stay in front, having to stay in the lead, having weapons. The person at the back sort of gets eaten by the screen if they don't keep up, and that was a formula that was brand new. It was really good. PlayStation 2 days, there was a game called Mashed that did it absolutely perfectly. You should look that up. If you own a PlayStation 2, if you're into retro gaming and you miss that original Micromachines format, then get that. But oh my god, what a missed opportunity with the developers here. You don't have a race mode on this. It's not even there. It's like, nope, you're not getting a race mode. I'll tell you what you're going to get. You're all going to get locked in a single screen room, and you're all going to have to just cane around in circles trying to kill each other. And it's shit. It's terrible. And of course, I heard that it was a dodgy game. I remember it being free, but I never knew it was that colossally dodgy. I never knew that they would completely ignore a beautiful opportunity to have an awesome 4-player couch co-op game, just like the original was all those years ago. So we've gone backwards with Micromachines, and you pillocks, this could have been really popular. I get 500,000 views on these videos, alright? So if half of them people bought the game, you would have made some money. So just bear that in mind and don't do that again. Avoid Micromachines, everybody. So let's actually start the list. The first on the list is a game called Trailblazers. Trailblazers is pretty new actually. It came out about 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit less than that. And as you can see, it's a very sort of a colourful racer, split screen racer. Now this was built, the developers, bless them, build this as Splatoon meets Mario Kart. And that's a big ask, isn't it? I mean, think about it, probably 2 of the best Nintendo exclusives out there. And they've pushed it into one split screen racer. So I was a little bit dubious. I kept my eye on this for a long time. It was in development. I heard rumours of it, and I was thinking this could be awesome. This could really be what us PlayStation 4 gamers need when it comes to a decent split screen racer. Now we do have Wipeout, so you know it's got to contend with that. And tell you the truth, it doesn't at all, but it tries damn hard. We've got 4-player on here, which is great. 4-player split screen, which runs very well. It's going to feature in a new video I've got coming up, which is going to be another 4-player couch co-op video. So this one's going to make that list. It's pretty awesome in regards to character selection and sort of different traits that different characters have, and you have them all unlocked for the multiplayer. Now, and it's also got a big single-player campaign, which I looked at extensively. Now, you can see that it's a bit strange in regards to its collision mechanics. Can you see when I hit the sides there, it really punishes you. Anyway, the idea of the game is to lay down paint either behind you, or you can push it out in front of you, and you've got like a meter in the middle. It builds up over time, and if you're on your corresponding colour, you go faster. And it's got a really clever idea with a sort of team setup where you can work together. You can both be the same colour and support each other, and sort of lay down paint in front of the other one to give them speed, etc. And once you get racked up with speed and get your head around how the turning works, because the turning is a bit weird, it works very well. The game looks good, plays good, sounds good, and the developers have done a really good job with the tracks. They're outlandishly awesome, a very twisty. You sort of go up high, upside down. You're in troughs, and it splits up. There's alternate routes and all this sort of stuff. So I mean, it's not a bad game. It is first, meaning it's the weaker, and they have tried very hard to come up with a decent sort of almost cartoony kart racing game. You know what I mean by that? You know, like a sort of not too serious a racing simulator, nice, cool, colourful arcade racer. But it's just this collision mechanic is such a bitch. When you hit that side, you get like flung off at a 45-degree angle, and you just get yourself in a ride state if you're not concentrating. But Trailblazers is definitely worth a look if you're into this genre, which I am. You know, split screen racer, 4-screen split screen racer, and a cool idea with the paint mechanic. Yeah, Super Dungeon Bros. Bit of a sort of cringy name there, and of course equally cringy visuals, but there's something quite good about this game. I do love the idea of it. It's kind of a cartoony Diablo clone, and it's got a sort of top-down style to it, asymmetric, and it's clever in regards to its unlocks and loot. I'll go into that in a little bit in a second, and it's actually quite satisfying. The combat's quite good. Now, naughtily, we're both playing with swords, but there is a bow and arrow set up with range combat, and that's really works well in conjunction with someone with a sword. And you have an attack, you have a dash button, and you have a special button, and as you can see, the game doesn't hold back with craziness. It's got a lovely cartoony style to it, and it's quite innovative as well when it comes to its visuals and its characters and its setup. It's kind of like a roguelike as well, so you sort of do runs, and you can unlock different worlds the more you sort of gather, and you get these sort of jewels to sort of add to your infantry to unlock different weapons and things, and leveling up's really well handled, and there's all kinds of perks and drops and really interesting things happening with it. It's got quite a lot of secrets, this game. It doesn't completely reveal all like a lot of roguelikes, but it's a very light rogue. I said rogue, by the way. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's got a weird soundtrack. It's got a sort of tongue-in-cheek, cheeky style to it, and there's quite a lot of puzzles in here. But it's I love games like this because I like to sort of go on an adventure. I like to sort of get unlocked. I like to rank up. I like to find chests. I like to do quests, and this game does that all for me. And again, it's not an older game either. And again, we've got 4-player here. This one will also make the 4-player list because it's very refreshing. It looks very good. It's very quick. It doesn't sort of lag, and some of these puzzles are really innovative. Some of these enemies are really innovative as well. The boss fights are excellent. What else is there to say about this? What separates this from other games like Diablo or Alien Nation? I'd say it's the art style. I'll say it's the innovative loot system. I'll say this massive amounts of unlocks and different weapons, and that's kind of the pull for me is getting a better weapon, getting a sort of cooler looking armor, and trying out the different classes. The different classes are quite different. Some of them have got different perks, like one of them's got like a floaty jump, a bit like Yoshi or something like that. So there's loads of different directions to go in, and I gave it a big extensive playthroughs on my own, and yeah, it's hard. It's actually quite a hard game, which is a really good thing. I think it's not. Don't be fooled by these kiddie visuals. It's a die-hard game, and there's loads of loot in it. Loads of like strange off-the-wall loot as well. Like it's weird how the loot system works. You sort of gather these different jewel types and then pump them into an upgrade at the end of a level. And I'm doing runs to unlock the next world, so I'm having to do the first world more than once. It's not a standard questing system with sort of stagnant levels. You've got to pump some time into this to start opening it up, and that's good. You know, there's a lot here to be had, but again, remember, damn difficult. Yes, Tricky Towers, you must know about this. You must have seen it. It's doing the rounds at the moment because it's bloody awesome, to be honest with you. What is this all about? Well, it's if you ever played Tetris, you know how to play this game basically. So what you're doing, and just as an off 4-player again. Hopefully I'm not going to do a completely duplicated list with all these same games on it, because I've got a bunch more, but this again is 4-player, which is a great idea. So anyway, you've got your little house, right, and the blocks are falling down on it, and what you're competing against is the other player, if you want to. There's a number of different game types, but it's got this great gravity mechanic in it, like a topple mechanic. So it's really in your interest to make sure you build a secure tower to beat the other person on height, because if things start falling off, obviously you're not going to get anywhere, and so you have to start thinking about putting things down neatly. As you can see, that's me on the left. I'm ballsing this up, you know, because I haven't got a nice flat surface, and it's a really clever idea, and I hadn't had that before. There's also another clever idea in the game, and it's when you get to these certain markers within the height of the tower, you unlock a magic. Then the magic can either be done on yourself or on the opponent. So you can do something mean to the other person, or you can actually do it, or secure a brick, or there's loads of it. You can see the symbols there, and you have to decide on the fly what you're going to do, whether you're going to help yourself or whether you're going to screw up the other person, and that's amazing. It starts getting really good. You keep an eye on what's going on with the other person's tower, and you see an opportunity, and you're like, yes, I'm going to do something to them now, and it will result in their tower just completely crumbling, and thus putting you in the lead. So this is a very clever game in regards to mechanic. They've given this a lot of thought, and the characters are really funny as well. Some of them are from Astronauts, I think. Forgive me if I've got that wrong. I actually put that game on the list a long time ago, but it's great. And there's different game modes. There's a survival mode, which means you lose a life if you drop something off your tower. If something falls into that water, you lose one of your 3 lives, and so that becomes really important about the secure tower, and of course, you know, screwing up the other player with making them drop things. So Tricky Towers on the PlayStation Network. This is a very good game. This is a perfect party game. This is a simple game, and the premise is simple, but it's got a deep mechanic, and if you're into Tetris or even remotely loved competitive Tetris, this one's definitely yours. Okay, so we're nearly there. Number 2 on the list is Portal Knights, and this is a very interesting one. I get a lot of complaints that I don't talk about Minecraft or include Minecraft. And Minecraft is a great split screen local co-op game, don't get me wrong, but something annoys me about Minecraft, and I think it's lack of direction. It's too creative for me. It's not, you know, it's not something you can get people round and have a good game on and get an immediate result. And Portal Knights is very different. Same premise, again, character creation. You've got a really good level of split screen interaction with this game. I think it runs really well, looks really good. The colours are amazing. They're really sort of poppy and cartoony. But this game is like Minecraft, but with a really solid questing leveling system in it that keeps you coming back. It's really great. It's really great, to be honest with you. I was really taken aback at how much I would enjoy this game. What's going on? Well, you're dropped into a generated map, and what you're doing is you're gathering resources within that map to actually activate the portal to get to the next world, and once you've done that, then you sort of start that process again, and it gives you a few things like a house and maybe a mine where you can go down and sort of get various rocks and elements to help build and upgrade your armor, and there's sort of random enemies sort of bouncing around the map, and there is like big designated boss fights as well once you open up and get through the worlds, and this is a very addictive game loop, and it's just got so much to give in regards to its crafting directions, and the combat is actually not shit at all. I thought it'd be really sticky and weird and like childlike, but it's not. It's like there's a dodge and roll, and the enemies are hard, they're horrible, and you need to sort of keep an eye on your health, and you can craft potions and sort of take them on the fly and stuff, and upgrade the sword. And at the moment I'm just using a wooden sword, and you can see that the person I'm playing with has also got a range attack, and there's all kinds of co-op support happening here. It's Portal Knights is really good, and if you're like me and you just are done with Minecraft and are just like, look, that's not my bag, but you still want that cool open world crafting system with a beautiful split screen game, then Portal Knights really delivers that. It's got, as I said before, some massive awesome bosses, and it's really good to sort of prepare for them and get your armor up to speed, and then, you know, go in a mine, find some cool metals, and then take them to the workbench and start putting stuff together. I'm very impressed with it. I'm very impressed with the visuals as well, and just how tight the gaming mechanic is on it, how well it runs as well. Frame rate stays up really high. So Portal Knights is definitely worth looking at if you're into couch co-op. Yes, my winner for this week's list is of course Gauntlet Slayer Edition. That's like a all-in-one, sort of got all the bells and whistles with it. Now Gauntlet's got a bit of a story to it. Gauntlet was out 20 years ago, and it was an arcade game that made it to the console, and what it sort of sold itself on was a hell of a lot of enemies on screen, being a really good top down, and being a 4-player. It was actually a 4-player arcade cabinet, I think, yeah, with like 4 sticks coming out of it. No one had seen anything like this before. No one had seen a horde mode top down sort of shooter slash, you know, wizards and magic and melee and barbarians and stuff. It was a bit of a groundbreaker, and of course it's been revamped by Arrowhead Studios, and these guys know what they're doing. This is a very, very polished game. That's the first thing you'll notice about it is the care and detail taken into making this look good and feel right, and it feels really right, because Gauntlet had this sort of flood of enemies thing where you'd get them all in a choke point and you'd use magic and area effect and kill a bunch of them at once, and they've kept it. It's really clever how they've done this. This is a really good port, really well done. I'm totally impressed with it, and I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with it at the moment, because you can see it's got a hotkey setup as well, a bit like Diablo down at the bottom of the screen there. Every character's got a different move. Every character's got a method of developing this special move, and this special move can be awesome. Like the elf with the bow and arrow, his special move is like a hyper fast moving mechanic where he fires at high speed, and it just gets you out of loads of trouble. When he's got like a snipe shot as well, and the barbarian's got an air effect, or like a sort of swing and it's just mad, like finishing a level with all the money that you've got and putting it into your character to develop it to get onto the next level. Now, talking of levels, and that was another thing that Gauntlet was always a strong seller on, was just having these mad crazy amounts of levels, and this game is huge. This game is absolutely huge, and I'm just a little bit gobsmacked that I haven't come across this earlier. A little bit annoyed as well. And if you guys remember Gauntlet, or kind of like Helldivers, this is like Helldivers meets Diablo. That's probably the closest I can get to describing it. It's great. It looks great. It plays great. It's so much fun doing these dungeons, and they've all got different sort of methods of traversing them. It's not simple. You'll see these things with the keys. There's doors that are unlocked with various keys that you pick up, and you can use a key straight away on a door, or you could keep hold of it, and maybe there'll be another door that will come up, and it will just give you a whole new direction of that particular level. And of course, getting that money is just amazing, because you get to buy new outfits, new weapons, new specials, even a new sort of rune that gives you an added special. Absolutely awesome. Gauntlet is a really good PlayStation 4 port, and it was a bit of a quiet release. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. It came out quite a while ago, to be honest, so it might have just been me missing the boat, but it's totally number one on my list for this week. So you must enjoy this game. Get down there, have a look at it, guys. Really enjoyed it. And yep, I am done. Thank you very much. Remember, if you're new, go down and look at the subscription. There's loads more videos on the channel. Take care, guys. See you down there.
Hey, I could have eaten that.